How does a rent control board impact your rental property? Have you ever wondered how a rent control board can affect your rental property? This topic is essential for landlords and tenants alike. Let's break it down in a straightforward way. A rent control board is a government agency that regulates rental prices and increases for properties in its area. This means they set rules on how much landlords can charge for rent and how often they can raise it. One of the main roles of a rent control board is to limit rent increases. They establish maximum allowable rents based on factors like operating costs and inflation. As a landlord, this means you cannot raise rents beyond the limits set by the board. Often, these limits are lower than what the market might allow. Rent increases are usually permitted only at specific intervals and by certain percentages, which helps keep housing affordable for tenants. There are two primary types of rent control that a board may enforce. The first is vacancy control, also known as true rent control. In this case, when a tenant moves out, you can only raise the rent by a small amount set by the board. The new tenant's rent remains regulated, which means it stays close to what the previous tenant paid, with only minor annual increases. The second type is vacancy decontrol. Here, when a tenant leaves, you can increase the rent to match market value for the new tenant. However, once the new tenant is in place, future rent increases are still limited by the board's guidelines. This gives you some flexibility but still keeps a cap on how much you can charge over time. For rental property owners, these regulations can limit potential rental income and affect profitability. If rent increases are capped, it may be challenging to cover rising maintenance and operating costs. This can also reduce the incentive to invest in property upgrades, which could impact the quality of your rental over time. On the flip side, rent control boards can provide stability in rental income and tenant occupancy. This reduces turnover and vacancy risks. By preventing sudden rent spikes, these boards help maintain community stability, which can lead to a more predictable cash flow for landlords, even if it means less flexibility in pricing. If your rental property falls under a rent control board's jurisdiction, you must follow their rules. This includes registering your units, adhering to rent increase limits, and following eviction protections. Not complying can lead to penalties or legal issues. In essence, a rent control board impacts your rental property by regulating rent prices and increases. While this can limit income growth and operational flexibility, it also promotes tenant stability and community continuity. Understanding the specific rent control laws in your area is vital for managing your rental property effectively.